Subjuntivo, imperfecto. We know that the imperfecto de subjuntivo is the past of the subjunctive, and we know that there are 5 main categories of the subjunctive: verbos de cabeza, de certeza, de opinión, de emoción, and de deseo. Each category has its own rule. For verbos de cabeza, the rule is no equals subjunctive. The same rule applies for verbos de cabeza. Verbos de opinión, emoción, and deseo are que equals the subjunctive. So we have 2 groups. The first group is verbos de cabeza and certeza, and the rule is if the first verb is negative, the second verb is in the subjunctive. In the second group of categories, opinión, emoción, and deseo, if the connector between the 2 verbs is que, then the second verb is going to be subjunctive. The first category we'll look at are verbos de cabeza. We've looked at verbos de cabeza in the present tense. Now we're going to switch this over to see how they will be used in the past tense. Let's look at the first sentence. I believe that you speak Spanish. There's a verb 1 and a verb 2. If we put this in the past tense, I believe that you spoke Spanish, it would be creo que hablabas español. And what we're going to do is put the second verb in the past and see how we have to change that. Second sentence. I think that you ate apples. You notice that we lived in Barcelona. They supposed that I spoke Catalan. I promised you that I spoke euskera. Notice the verb 1 can be in any tense. It can be in the present tense, the pretérito imperfecto, and the pretérito indefinido. It doesn't matter what tense verb 1 is in, it just matters what you're trying to say. But, however, if the second verb has to be in the past tense, that's the one we're going to be looking at. Right now they're all in the indicative because none of the verb 1s are negative. Let's have them all go negative and see what happens in the second verb. I don't believe that you spoke Spanish. No creo que hablaras español. Notice that the first verb goes negative, so the second one has to be in the subjunctive. No pienso que comieras manzanas. I don't think that you ate apples. It doesn't matter what tense the first verb is in, just if it goes negative, the second verb will be in the subjunctive. You didn't notice that we lived in Barcelona. First verb is negative. If the second one is in the past tense, it has to be in the past subjunctive. They didn't suppose that I spoke Catalan. I didn't promise you that I spoke euskera. So you can see they follow the rule. If the second verb has to be in the past tense, it can be either in the indicative or in the subjunctive. It goes to the subjunctive if the first verb is negative. Let's look at verbos de certeza in the imperfecto of the subjunctive. They also have a verb 1 and a verb 2. We're familiar with these sentences already, so let's go through them. It is certain that she competes. If you want to put it in the past tense, you can say it's certain that she competed. It's true that he thought about her. It's evident that we played soccer. I am certain that she could converse. You are sure that he began the homework. If you want to change this into the past tense in verb 2, look what happens if we go negative. No es cierto que ella compitiera. No era verdad que él pensara. No fue evidente que jugáramos fútbol. No estuve cierta de que ella pudiera conversar. No estás segura de que él comenzara. Notice verb 1 can be in the present tense, the pretérito indefinido, the pretérito imperfecto. It doesn't matter what tense the first verb is in. Just if it goes no, and if the second verb is in the past tense, the second verb has to be in the past subjunctive. We're going to switch rules now to verbos de opinión in the past subjunctive. And remember, verbos de opinión also has a verb 1 and a verb 2. And if que is the connector, the second verb has to be in the subjunctive. In this case, it will go into the past subjunctive. Let's look at the first sentence. It's good that you spoke Spanish. Es bueno que hablaras español. It was bad that you ate meat. Fue malo que comieras carne. If you use cuando as a connector, you can put the past tense in the regular past tense in the indicative, and you don't have to change it into the subjunctive. Era posible cuando tomabas buenas decisiones. Es imposible si tomabas malas decisiones. And fue una tontería que tomaras malas decisiones. When there's que, the second one has to be subjunctive, even if the second verb is in the past tense. You'll put it in the past subjunctive. Verbos de emociones. Imperfecto. These are the me gusta phrases. Me gusta que sepas la respuesta. Notice that que again is the connector, and that will determine the use of the subjunctive in the second verb. Me gustaba, I used to like, or I liked that you knew the answer. Me gustaba que supieras la respuesta. It made me sad that you were an idiot. Me ponía triste que fueras tonto. Me da igual si fuiste a casa. Notice with si and cuando, you do not have to go in subjunctive in the second verb. Me hizo feliz, it made me happy when you did the work. Me hizo feliz cuando hiciste la tarea. Estuve contento de que hubieras hecho la tarea. I was content that you had done the homework. Past tense. Notice again, que equals a subjunctive, even in the past tense for the second verb. And the last group is going to be verbs de deseo in the imperfecto de subjuntivo. These are also going to have a verb 1 and a verb 2, with que as a connector determining the use of the subjunctive in the second verb. Quise que llegaras. I wanted you to arrive on time to class. Quise que llegaras a tiempo a clase. Deseabas, you desired that they had a party. You wanted them to have a party. Deseabas que ellos tuvieran una fiesta. Prefiero que no tocaron la música tan fuerte. Lamentábamos cuando no vivían cerca. Notice with si and cuando, you do not have to have subjunctive in the second verb. El maestro exigió que ellos entregaran la tarea. The teacher demanded that they turn in their homework. Que is a connector. That will determine the past tense subjunctive in the second verb. Let's look again. These are the rules, cabeza and certeza. No is going to be the subjunctive. Opinion, emotion, and desire. Que is going to be the subjunctive. That includes verbs in the present tense and in the past tense in that second verb. Subjuntivo, el imperfecto de subjuntivo.